Hi, I'm Jonas, this is Sublime Media, and today I'm going to show you some not so recent vinyl finds, because some of these I've had for months and months and maybe even up to a year, I don't know. So yeah, it's going to be all jazz this time. I packed them all together, so some reissues, mostly original pressings or early pressings, and maybe one or two a little bit more rarer titles. So yeah, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, if you like what I'm doing here. Comment if you know anything about the music and the pressings and records and want to contribute in any way down in the comments below. There's the place where we can keep the video going and have a conversation, you know. So much appreciated. Yeah, mixed bag, as I said. Let's jump right into it. So yeah, I'm gonna start with this one. This is a reissue, but an early reissue of... No, this is a first press. This has to be a first press. Yeah, a first press. Because this is a shelved Blue Note session with Lee Morgan. Just came out on the classic series that they are doing now in 2025. And been doing for like 5 years, something like that. The best jazz series out there right now, in my opinion. Anyway, but I managed to, before that, like a year ago, maybe more, I bought this. This is... No, I found it in a collection. Lee Morgan's The Procrastinator. So what we have here is a shelved session from 1967. With Lee Morgan, Wayne Shorter, Bobby Hutcherson, Herbie Carter, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Billy Higgins. Not a bad lineup, is it? The title track is amazing. I think there's like most of the tunes, like there's 6 tunes. I think that maybe one was not really my bag, a little bit too much like elevator music, you know. But with this one, it comes in a gatefold sleeve. This series that they did, Blue Note Jazz Classics, I think in the mid 70s, later 70s, 78. They also give you a second disc with another session from 1969, and this time with Lee Morgan, obviously, Julian Priester, George Coleman, Harold Mayburn, Walter Booker, and Mickey Rooker. So yeah, and on the white B Blue Note label variant, I've heard that the black B versions is better sounding, and maybe that's so. Anyway, this was a pretty, or is still a pretty rare title nowadays to get a hold of. I think it's very appreciated, this shelved session. It's been reissued on CD, and now for the first time on vinyl, I think, reissued, but only the first disc. So if you get the classic series, you only get half of this version. I have to say, like, the first disc is amazing, really, really good. Just one tune, maybe that is not my bag. The second one, not as good, but still great. Like 1969, Lee Morgan, you can't go wrong with it. But so hopefully they release it later down the line. But I don't think they will, because it's not on par with the first disc. Anyway, super happy to add this to the collection, and I'm not gonna hunt for or get the classic series. I don't feel like probably the sound quality would be better, but this sounds great. I have no problem with it, so keeping that. So moving into the reissues, this is Bobby Hutcherson featuring Harold Land, and I'm a little bit on the fence with Bob Hutcherson, but I think that this one was a great addition to the Blue Note Classic series. Sounds like a dream, and yeah, this is an ongoing series now that we are getting used to. Even so much that we can just like wait a little bit, and the titles that isn't that popular will come out in sale. So I think that now towards like Christmas and maybe after like January, February, you will see a lot of these Blue Note titles on sale on Amazon and stuff like that. Fabulous Fats Navarro, not my bag really. I think that this is a compilation of 10-inch records or something like that. It's a little bit too old jazz for me, but a historical important piece, I think. I bought it, it's going into the collection, and I have no plans on getting rid of it. Keep on, I'm still like getting the Tone Poets. I think that's the best bang for the buck, with the gatefolds and everything. Yeah, can't go wrong really. This is Down With It with the Blue Mitchell Quintet, featuring High Heel Sneakers, March on Selma, percussion and others. You have Blue Mitchell obviously on trumpet, Junior Cook, Chick Corea, Gene Taylor, and Aloysius Foster. I don't know, that maybe Al Foster. Yeah. This was recorded in 1965 in the Vangelis studio, obviously. Yeah, Kevin Gray, all that good jazz, thick cardboard. Love to put these American pressings in the gatefold sleeves. Yeah, great one. It's been such a long time since I played it, so I can't really tell you anything about the music. Also, classic series, Stanley 13 with the 3 sound, and we will get back to the 3 sound later on. I think that the 3 sound is definitely one of the Blue Note groups that I would like to dive more into in 2026 maybe. But that was a good one. So yeah, moving into the original pressings or early reissues. Here we have, as I said, the 3 sounds, but with Anita O'Day. And I'm not huge into vocal jazz. As a matter of fact, I don't like it. Like, there's very few jazz records, vocal jazz records, that I can stand. But this is great. Every other song is just instrumental with 3 sound, and every other song is 3 sound with Anita O'Day. And she is on fire. I think that this is a very, in a way, uncommercial record for her, at least. And I think the cover artwork says it all, because Anita O'Day, a beautiful woman, often pictured on the sleeve on her records, like really popping, setting the record with her face and persona. But in this case, it's just a blurry picture of her mid, like, sing, I don't know, which is pretty sort of telling when it comes to what to expect of the record. If you are getting one Anita O'Day record, this is the one to get. But other than that, like, needless to say, this is highly recommended for any jazz fan. I don't think it's expensive. I don't think it's very hard to find. And yeah, if you do, pick it up. Verve, cool one. This is probably the rarest one I'm going to show you today. I had this and sold it, got a good coin for it. Maybe I sold it or traded it anyway. Not because it's a bad record, just because I couldn't say no to the trade or the money I got for it. Anyway, I went to Stockholm, visited a shop. I found this for a ridiculous price. And this is one of the big stores, so I have no idea what they were thinking. But I got it for maybe a third of the price it goes for. In perfect condition. And I'm talking about Rediagilia. So this is Georg Riedel, a famous Swedish bass player that does like a job for Swedish public service, I think, of the 7 deadly sins. And he brings with him the who's who of jazz in Sweden or Scandinavia. You have Bertil Lövgren, Arne Domnerius, Jan Garbarek, Lennart Åberg, Jan Johansson, Palle Danielsson, obviously, and Georg Riedel, so both on bass. Egil Johansen on drums. So yeah, a magnificent, a little bit freer, probably the most free that Riedel has ever gone. I think so, anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. A fantastic record. Highly recommended on the Swedish radio label. Not easy to find these days, and I'm super glad to add it to the collection again. And hopefully this time I won't get persuaded to get rid of it. But funny, I mean, it's one of those, like, I didn't want to sell it or trade it, and I did. And then a couple of years or a handful of years afterwards, I find it again. You know, that's kind of cool. I don't know why I got this, because it's good, but it's not great. And maybe it was on my want list because of the Swedish sort of connection. I don't know. But Ronnie Dun Quartet, I think it's an English jazz quartet. But this is recorded in Studio Stockholm 1967. But there's no, I don't think so anyway. I don't think that there's any Swedish related players on this one. It's good. It's not like mind-blowing or anything, and it's dirt cheap, so maybe cheap heat, I don't know. So yeah, check it out if you're interested in like this sort of, yeah, a little bit of run-of-the-mill jazz, but nice one to find. It's not a record that everyone talks about every day, is it? The DMM Blue Notes is what it is, but in this case I think that this is reissued as a classic series. Found it in a collection, decided to keep it for now. Let's see what the future has installed. But this is, I mean, if you find this DMM, it's a little bit of a hit and miss. I wouldn't say that everything on these, like, I think this is the French reissue, but I wouldn't say that everything is just crap. I have talked about these pressings before, and I mean it's the equivalent of a good CD. I think, in my opinion, and if your stereo system is optimized for vinyl, I guess that, I mean, this will sound better than any stream or CD in your living room. With that being said, there's more potential in the grooves. Like, just let's put it like that. But a blue note is always a blue note. I mean, I will keep the blue notes every day of the week. This is almost falling apart, so I'm just going to show it. This is interpretations by the Stan Getz Quintet, an original first press on the Norgran label. Yeah, a pretty good one. I sort of like, should I sell it? It's not worth that much. Will I find it again? No, probably not. Will I play it again? Maybe, somewhere down the line. Like, so it's going into the collection right now. I don't see myself flipping that to anyone. It's not worth the sort of the money for letting it go, you know. Next one, this is also one of the reissue series that it's not like, it doesn't sound great, but it's a little bit of a hit and miss. This is Art Pepper's Smack Up with Jack Sheldon, Pete Jolly, Jimmy Bond and Frank Butler. Recorded, let's see here, in 1960, and this is on Contemporary. But this is one of those, I think, late 70s, maybe even early 80s reissues of the Contemporary. Very flimsy vinyl. But yeah, sounds okay. Like, yeah, not super bad, not super good. I think that these has been reissued as audiophile pressings, or almost, at least. So yeah, if this is one of the best records, I mean, don't get that version. I feel like for the price I think I paid for it, or maybe I found a collection, it's like an Art Pepper record. Yeah, it needs to stay in the collection. This was a surprise. This is an awesome record. Super cheap, like, in my opinion, cheap heat, because of the trio. Insane. I mean, you see this all the time, I think. So if you see it, if you don't have it, get it. Great sound quality, fantastic session. Yeah, and awesome playing by these guys: Hank Jones, Ron Carter and Tony Williams. And Tony Williams rips it on this one. Recorded in 1977 at the Village Vanguard, so a live record. And yeah, Inner City record label. I think this is like a 5-7 euro record, maybe. I don't think it's more than that, and it's worth that every day of the week. So a little bit fusion-esque, a little bit a child of its time in 1977. I mean, Tony Williams. So I think that you know what to expect. But with that being said, Village Vanguard, great recording quality and amazing playing. What more could you ask for, ECM for me is a hit and miss. Some I keep, some I can't wait to sell when I find them in collections and stuff like that. We are blessed here in Scandinavia. A lot of people bought ECM records, so it's pretty easy to find most of the titles anyway. And this is one of those. Keith Jarrett and Jack DeJohnette, Ruta and Dajuan, something like that. It's the 1021, so the 21st release on the ECM label. I'm guessing like 73 maybe, 74? 73. And in great condition. I mean, this is not the best ECM record, but damn, it's definitely not the worst one. So it's a keeper in the collection, at least for now. But we will get back to the label with the last record I'm going to show you, which is a super keeper. This is also cheap heat. You can get this for, I think, under 10 euro. And if you're a fan of these guys, I think it's a solid buy. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers live in Stockholm 1959 on the Dragon label, or Dragoon. I don't know how you pronounce it, but Dragoon is famous for the very well recorded and pressed records back in the day. This is from 87, but recorded in 59, as I said, in Stockholm. I mean, you have Lee Morgan, Wayne Shorter, Walt Davis Jr., Jimmy Merritt, and Art Blakey on it. And I have to say, like, Wayne Shorter and Lee Morgan is really doing a solid job here. But Art Blakey, as always, just leads the guys onwards. Yeah, amazing record for that price. I mean, and kind of, I mean, I lived in Sweden, so for me it's like reading Stockholm is nothing but I guess for you guys out there in Europe and in the US, it's a little bit exotic. It should be, anyway. And for that price, with that quality and this quality in playing, it's a no-brainer. So in my opinion, a cheap heat record. I won't take this out because it's sort of falling. Yeah, okay, so found in a collection, kept it. Yusef Lateef live at Peps. I don't think that this is my favorite record on the Impulse label. Yusef Lateef, little bit of a hit and miss for me, like, and this is no exception. Maybe a 3 out of 5 sort of record. It's on Impulse. It's an early Impulse reissue, I think, or maybe a first. I can't remember when I logged it. So I'm keeping it. If this was an ordinary non-Impulse release with Yusef Lateef in this quality, musician-wise, playing-wise, I wouldn't keep it. But it's got the spine, you know. So I have to keep it for now. And let's see. Further down the line, maybe I have a brain fart or something, and I just decide to sell it. Let's see. All of the records can't be 10 out of 10, not even 9 or 8. I try to at least have records that I think is like at least 3 out of 5. It's like there's no reason to have a 2 out of 5 in the collection. I can listen to it if I want on other formats. There's a bunch of different formats, not only vinyl. We forget that sometimes, in my opinion. Like, collecting records and listening to music is two different things that goes perfect together. But it's, in my opinion, two different things. Anyway, Brian Auger. When I see a Brian Auger record that I don't have, I buy it if it's not expensive. And this was not. I think it was included in a collection because the quality of the tracks and I mean the music is so high. Like, Brian Auger, what a guy! Really, I shouldn't say underrated, because he is hailed by jazz musicians and aficionados worldwide. But it's one that I don't. We talk more about the Blue Note artists and the Impulse artists and, Coltrane and Miles and Lee Morgan and stuff like that than sort of these guys on the other end of the pond. And in my opinion, maybe we forget them sometimes. Last but not least, this is one of those ECMs that, in my opinion, like, if all ECMs were like this, I would have as many ECMs as I have Blue Note records, you know. But unfortunately, that's not the case, in my opinion. Like, in my humble opinion. This is 1975, and with Enrico Rava, The Pilgrim and the Stars. I think that it's his debut record on ECM, at least. You have John Abercrombie, Palle Danielsson, and Jon Christensen on this one also. Great backside of that too. And Enrico Rava, trumpet player, like, it reminds me of... It reminds me a little bit of the playing that Miles has on Sketches of Spain. I don't know why, but it's just like very moody in tone. Yeah, maybe a little bit Latin, maybe a little bit flamenco. I don't know. I don't know this kind of stuff. I only know what my gut says, and my gut says like Sketches of Spain, and I love Sketches of Spain. So you know what I mean. I actually, in that collection, I found 3 Enrico Rava records. And the other 2 I have cleaned, but I haven't played yet. So it's going to be awesome to see how he develops through the ECM catalog over maybe a 5, 6, 7 year time period. So yeah, that's an amazing record on the ECM label. And again, I don't think it's very expensive, like €30 maybe, something like that. I'm only guessing, but yeah, hope you like that. If there's something you want to say to me or to others about the records, please do that in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that shit, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone, and thanks for watching.